Boom.
Boom.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. We haven't started.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thanks for coming, guys. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm H. He's Rob. Welcome to our first. Well, is it our first? It's not really our first chat. It's our first chat
Yeah.
online, but we
Yeah.
thought you would include you guys to our madness, which is called our regular pub rant, and or just a couple of guys hanging out and being silly. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
So, Rob, what's going on?
Uh, Not a lot. Not a lot. I was just thinking, I had I kind of had the urge of, like being
Don't
kind
say
of
it.
like,
Don't say it.
no, 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 no. It's gonna be clean,
Wow,
trust me.
thank God for that.
Uh, I was actually, like I was browsing cars online, see what depreciated in what way and whatever. And all of a sudden, I found myself, rather than searching for the usual suspects, found myself searching for a couple of Japanese cars.
Funny you should say that. I was watching Fast and Furious 5, and I wanted to
Oh,
watch Hobbs and Shaw, the latest carnation of the franchise. And I said to the missus, fancy going to watch it at the cinema? And she went, I haven't seen them. So which one haven't you seen? She went, I can't remember. Typical woman, typical woman kind of, I can't remember. Which doesn't
yeah.
help my situation. But, yeah, so we had to start from Tokyo Drift because she's seen Fast and Furious. But anyway,
Okay.
sidetracked. We were going through the cars, and I thought to myself, I fancy myself in a GTR. That's the one I'd go for. I don't know. What's your man crush on the Japanese import?
Um, yeah, yeah. The GTR, yeah, I like it. I really love it. It's amazing how much more powerful you can get it just with plugging in a laptop, you know. But because I'm paranoid and because I work on my own cars, um, I don't know how reliable over time it becomes, because
Hmm.
you plug it in, and you tinker with the timing and the advance, and you trick it into thinking that it's always cold outside, and whatever they do, to add like 100 million horsepower. Uh, but for how long, you know?
The question is, I got to ask you: Would you which model would you go for? Would you go for the R34, R35? Which would be
Yeah,
your?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, I'll go for the R34.
Oh, okay.
Ideally, I would get the R34 in a four-door spec.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm
Why?
serious.
Why?
Because there's a Nismo version of the R34 in a
Nice.
four-door spec, which basically looks like the R34 coupe, but it's got four doors. It's just me being weird because I like large, powerful saloon cars.
Yeah, but why do you need four doors? It's not. You're not going to stick your kids in the back and go track racing, are you?
No, no, no. It's for McDonald's bags, and like throwing everything in the back, and
No, no. That's
it's.
that's what you do with your family car. You don't do it with a toy. I mean, I assume the R34 would be a toy, right? Wouldn't be a, or would it be a practical car as well?
I think it will be a practical car, man, because it's a Japanese car. Technically, if they're unmolested mechanically, they should run forever.
Oh, come on, Rob. How many cars do you know are unmolested? Japanese cars. If you had
The
a Japanese car, would you unmolest it, or would you leave it as it is?
Yes, but only a few of them.
You telling me you had a Japanese R34 four door GTR? Sorry, R34 four door, and you wouldn't play with it. You wouldn't molest it. You wouldn't even poke your finger in where it shouldn't be poked.
As far as the engine is concerned, yeah, I think I'd leave it alone.
Right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, he's fooling us, but not himself.
No, 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 no. I'm serious. Like me now, being almost 40 years old, I would leave it as is.
Wow, you're
M-
old.
yeah, me 15, 20 years ago, yeah, I would mod the crap out of it.
Mm. So what you're saying is, as you got older, you got wiser.
It could be the word, yeah.
No, it's not. Still,
I would say I would say tighter.
okay. We're talking about money now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't want to spend like a gazillion dollars or euros or pounds in modifying your car just so it blows up in like 1,000 miles.
Okay, so you keep it normal so that you could go shopping in it, take the kids out in it, and the wife could drive it as well.
Yeah. No, no, no,
No to which one?
no to the wife driving it.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought
No,
you said
sh-
last time you said to me when you get married, sharing is caring.
Yes, but we draw the line at cars and motorcycles.
Right. How wide is the line?
What do you mean?
I mean, you say you draw the line. Is this line really? Can you cross the line, or is it uncrossable?
It's crossable, but on a one way, as in I can drive hers, but she can never drive mine.
You know, the funny thing is, as you're talking about, you can drive hers, but she can't drive yours. You know, when I was looking at, so the film we saw was the 2001 version first, which was Too Fast, Too Furious. And in the film, which was interesting enough, because the women in the film are usually portrayed as eye candy, let's say, desirable human beings that men go, if I have one of these cars, I can get one of those women. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the interesting fact was when Brian, who is the late, God rest his soul, Paul Walker, is racing the car in his GT R34, may I say, there's also a lady called Suki who owns a S2000, pink S2000.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, I thought to myself, it's a male-dominated environment, testosterone filled, big shiny testicles, swing them over your shoulder, I'm the man. And yet in the film you got a hardcore woman who's hanging out with the boys going, come on boys, I'll show you how to drive this car. Interesting.
Um.
So do women have a role in this?
Look, I'm not. I'm not being sexist. I'm not being mean. I'm not being rude, right? But
For
years
once.
and years and years ago,
Mm-hmm.
when I met my missus, I don't know about any other kind. I'm not, not gonna go there. But years and years ago, when I met my missus, for some reason there was that kind of a situation where she stayed overnight at my place. Anyway, I had to give her this, my 5 Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Very nice, by the way.
Thank you. When I got my 5 Series, the first 2 things that I've ever done with it was change the exhaust and change the alloy wheels, right? The rims.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the guy that built the exhaust from scratch was such a genius because he built a stainless steel exhaust
Mm-hmm.
that makes noise after 2,500 revs.
Right, nice.
Below that, it has a bit of a burble because it's a straight 6, right? It's a little bit of a burble. It's not loud, but you can tell it's running, right? Anyway, long story short is I hand over the keys. She takes off. First, second gear, you cannot hear anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
As she, gets further and further away. Now, when she thought that she was out of, my eye line, my sight and, hearing radius, that's when, boom, she floors it. And I kid you not, my exhaust on the 5 Series is one of those that crackles and pops when you change from third to fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that. And that was the moment when I told myself, if I'm marrying this chick, she will never drive my cars again.
Okay. So caring is not sharing, realistically. Not when it comes to
Exactly.
cars and motorcycles. I get it.
Look, don't get me wrong. Like I had I had the Voyager, I had the Galaxy, I had crap cars in the past. She could drive them. I don't care about them. If they break down, I always told her you just lock the doors and leave. You know.
You know, the funny thing is, you say that. So, veering off the subject, I was down my mechanic's shop the other day, and I went in for something to get for my car, and as I walked to the garage, I said to the guy, "This is a woman's car, isn't it?" And he goes, "Yeah. How do you know?" I said, "I just looked inside. The amount of crap that's inside on the back seat in the footwell, it was disgusting. Why is it? Due respect to the ladies, that they keep the house clean, but the car looks like a pigsty. Yet the guy, his bedroom will smell of kebab and rotten socks and, ex-girlfriends, and yet the car is immaculate inside."
Well, again, I don't really know how to answer that, because if you look at inside of my missus' car, or outside even, that car is in pristine condition.
Okay.
And I'm serious. Like, I'm never allowed to eat, drink, smoke, fart, or sneeze in the car.
Wow.
Like, never. I I went cross Europe in that car twice,
Mm-hmm.
and if I needed to sneeze, I had to pull over. It's that kind of a car.
Wow.
Serious. So yeah, like if you don't believe me, like if anyone out there says nah, you're bullshitting and whatever, I'll send you pictures. You just post your Instagram or Facebook or whatever in the comment section. I'll send you pictures. My missus's car is in pristine condition, and it's a 2008. She's the first and only owner of that car.
Wow. So
Yeah.
do women have a space in tuning cars? You know.
You know what? I think they do. I mean, I've seen. I don't know if you've heard. There's this app called TikTok with
Yep.
like
Yep.
really quick scrolling videos. Anyway, I've seen a couple of chicks out there. Like wrenching on cars and stuff, and like yeah. Nowadays, you don't need the strength as you used to be a mechanic.
But I think, I mean, let's say 10, 15 years ago, cars were more, I don't know, tuned or body styled, or I mean, I don't know how you feel about body kits, but I kind of like a body kit on a car. If it's done well, it changes I mean, it just makes the car look like from a standard bog. I mean, no one wants a bog standard car. No one wants a bog standard woman. So, with guys, I feel that to differentiate yourself between you and Mr. Smith next door, you'd put a body kit on a car.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you are still watching by this moment, we are not condoning plastic surgery just because age said that you should not be standard. We're not. Yeah. Anyway, look, body kits, I'm not that big of a fan now. I'm a fan of the body kits the way that Mercedes and BMW does them, right? So they've got the bog standard, let's say 5 Series, right? And they have the M Sport, which is not an M, but it looks better than
Yeah.
a 5 Series, and with the E-Class as well, they've got the AMG Sport and the Night Edition and whatever, and they just look better. And you still get to be the cheap bastard that you are secretly, and you're driving a 2-liter diesel with a 7G Tronic or a 9G Tronic rather nowadays. You get 75 miles to the gallon, but then again, your car looks like a E63 AMG.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that, okay, what I can't stand that, bro, that's fair enough, but what I really can't stand is, when they put the M sticker on the back of it, and it's not an M.
I know.
I mean, personally, no offense to all the BMW drivers out there, but it's pretty much BMW drivers that do it.
Yeah, because BMW is the only brand that has the M badge that means so much. No other brand out there has a badge that means so much.
Really? And AMG doesn't mean anything, right?
It does, but not as much as M. These two are always going to be apples to apples.
Yeah, they're contentious, aren't they? They're always going to be,
Exactly. Yeah.
you are the one or another. It's either you like Marmite or you don't. And personally, I'm not. I mean, here's the funny thing: I'm not a BMW man. Yes, I've only driven one BMW, 330i, and I can't, but I just find the footwell in a BMW, the driver's side, if you've got unless you've got tiny munchkin feet, there's nowhere to put your legs in a BMW front footwell.
In a
That
3
being
Series.
said, no, well, like I said, I only drive the 330. But that being said, I always used to think, why do BMW drivers drive like douchebags? Apologies to not all BMW drivers. I'm apologizing. But when you see a nutter going down the motorway, bro, what do you see? You see an Audi or a BMW. And I think what's happened is the Audis have, given way to the BMWs have given way to Audi drivers, or they've moved to Audi cars. But the point I was trying to make is when I drove that car, I'm a pretty sensible driver. Once in a while, I like putting my foot down. But as soon as I started driving that car, got inside in, foot flat on the accelerator, and off we go driving. And then I was, what am I doing? Why am I driving like a freaking lunatic? I started driving like a BMW driver, boy.
Well, the short answer is because you can.
And that wraps the show, boys and girls. Thanks for tuning in.
The long answer, and one of my favorite conspiracy theories, is the fact that ever since like the 1996, this body style, right, came out in 1996. They had two very unique cabin air filters.
Okay.
And I think that they secretly laced those cabin air filters with some sort of psychedelic drug,
Mm.
which was just slightly hallucinogenic, slightly methamphetamine, like a booster kind of a thing, and it enhances your senses, and you think like, I could fly like an eagle, but there's a Prius in front of me. Fuck that. Oh, sorry.
Anyway, yeah.
I did not say that. I'm gonna beep that out. I promise.
Yeah. Anyway, so you know what? You say Prius, but yeah, it is a very successful car. I mean, look at what it's done for the minicab market, the taxi market. I mean, is there any more car that's more successful than a Prius? I mean, it's hated universally. I accept.
Excuse me. Okay, yeah, you are right. In a little corner of the world, yes, the Prius probably has outsold any other brand as a taxi. But I know this for a fact that the E-Class Mercedes is always engineered as an airport taxi service car. Engineered from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And so many companies around the world, like, when you win the lottery and you become rich, but not filthy Jeff Bezos rich, like normal footballer rich.
Okay.
Yeah. You will most likely have a E-Class Mercedes picking you up at the airport.
Okay.
Or taking you to the airport.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Makes
It's
sense.
never going to be an A6. It's never going to be a 5 Series. It's always going to be an E-Class Mercedes.
Yeah, why is it not the A6 of the 5? I don't know. Is it because they're lunatics and you'll never make it? I mean,
No, it's because it's cheaper.
really?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that, look, when I was young in my when I got myself my driver's license, my dad told me the following things. The BMW will always be just a little bit faster than the Benz.
Oh, no.
But hang on a second, because this is a longer sentence. The BMW will always be a little bit faster and sharper than a Benz, but you can drive the Benz comfortably for an extra hour. And if you cannot afford any of those two, then you get yourself an Audi.
Wow. Yeah, and instantly we've just lost 15,000 followers of ours by you saying that.
Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, this is the funny thing. I see a woman driving a Mercedes, and very, very rarely I see that same woman, not that same woman, but I see more women driving Audis than I do BMWs. Why?
It depends on where you are in the world.
Well, in London, let's say, I see more women drive Audis than BMWs and Mercedes Benzes.
Where I'm at, most of the BMW X6s, I want to say 95% of the owners of X6 BMWs are women.
Possibly. But
No, no, I'm serious.
but they don't have. I mean, what if we go back to the Japanese cars, how many women do you see driving Jap cars? Not many.
Usually the ones that don't care about what they drive.
So what do you mean? It's not like a family car or a baby carriage kind of pickup?
Exactly. They just want a steering wheel, four doors, four windows, and not terrain in it. Thank you very much. It's a Kia Sorento.
Yeah. No. Good point. But if we go back to, let's say, a Japanese car you could own, would it be the R34, the R35, or would it be something completely different? What would be your three favorite Japanese cars and your three worst, if you had to pick, off the cuff?
Money no object? Or
Yeah.
do I have to like sort of figure in financing and running it?
Let's say both.
Okay. So sensibly, I would like top three desirable Japanese cars are gonna start with one of them, which is, like it was my first, I popped my Japanese cherry with it, and it was the Mazda 929, which was a very obscure, very long, very low, very sleek, very fast,
Very
very
ugly.
pretty in my eyes.
Very ugly, very wedge-like. To hold the door open, you just wedge the car next to it and it'll hold the door open. Sorry, carry on.
That's what I would get, and I would swap in a V10 or a V8, because they only came with a 2 liter in Europe, a 4 cylinder 2 liter engine. But for the States, I think they sold like 5 in the United States, and those had a 4.7 V8.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's
we
that's
got
number
a
one.
bum rap. Why do we only get a crappy size engine? How come the Oh, that's because their fuel is kind of sucky over there. No low octane and no replacement for displacement, as they say.
Actually, it isn't. Actually, it isn't. I've seen there's this guy on YouTube. He's called Chris Fix. He had a very smart way of describing the way that the Europeans measure octane and the way that the Americans measure the octane numbers in their fuel. Uh, because of their strange because of their strange imperial system.
No.
I'm serious. Because they use the imperial system to figure out whatever the calories and whatever, and because we use the international system, from France, that's why they've got 85. Basically 85 or 82? 85.
No. It's not. It's 87 octane. The Americans' crappy fuel. 86
Yep.
or 87.
I think the smallest one is 85.
You carry on talking while I check that out for the
Okay.
ladies and gents.
Anyway, so basically their smallest octane fuel is going to be equal as an octane number as our 95.
No.
Yes, it is. And we're not
No.
even going to talk about
Oh,
premium fuels
don't
because those
even
are
go
just
there.
crap.
No. Octane is, look, that's like saying in one country it's 9 karat gold, in another is 22, and yet the 9 karat gold is just as good because it's from there. No. Look, octane is octane. You don't where you get that one from.
Octane is measured in some weird way, right? And if let's say that you have to divide by cubic centimeters or cubic inches, It's that kind of a difference.
Okay, so going by what I just read, it says the octane rating is the measurement of the fuel's ability to resist knocking or pinging during combustion. Okay, so typically in the US, the octane ratings of 87 is regular, 88 to 90 is mid grade, and 91 to 94 is premium. So, are you saying that our kind of octane in London is I mean the just a normal octane is 95, as you very
Yeah,
well know,
yeah,
and the good
yeah.
stuff is 98, 99 at some places.
I don't know. I think that the good stuff is actually a placebo. I don't think
Oh
it
my
actually
god,
is a good
no!
stuff.
Are you nuts?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I'll tell you why. Because at some point in my life, I filled up a tank and I put a bottle of octane booster
No, it's not the same.
in the tank.
It's not the same, Rob.
Of course it is.
No.
What they do is, so listen to me. Shell comes over with a tanker truck, right? And they put a little bottle of 30 mils of octane booster and they say, oh, there you go, it's 99. No, it's not 99. What are you talking about? It's
You know,
just,
no, Rob. There was a test done. I think it was Autocar or Evo, and they tested the octane. Now, in a turbocharged Subaru Impreza, the performance actually went up due to the octane. It had better performance figures, 0 to 60 and top end. Explain.
yeah, but then again, the Impreza can run on whiskey. It can run on goddamn moonshine. It doesn't even matter. I don't know.
No. So you no, I mean
Look.
your guy on the internet that you saw on YouTube. No, I disagree. I don't see how we can say is the American stuff and the English stuff are different. Yeah, the American stuff just hasn't got the same octane rating or the same power, and it's proven fact. Why do Formula One cars not stick in an octane booster in their fuel tank? No, they use Shell petrol to get the highest octane, which is tuned for that car.
I doubt that they get regular pump.
Yeah, I agree.
Fuel.
No, they don't get regular pump. But you know as well as I do, when something hits the racetrack, let's say diffusers. Now diffusers are on BMWs, they're on Audis, and they're on Mercedes Benzes. Why? Because they came from Formula One racetrack.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But as far as fuel quality is concerned, trust me, it's all about marketing. It always is. They just want to sell their fuel as expensive as possible.
So you're saying this is conspiracy theory, basically.
No, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's the truth.
In your humble opinion, no.
No,
Rob,
no, no, not in my humble opinion. It's the truth. Because think about it. Because we all, for some reason, the human animal, right, Homo sapiens, has evolved in such a way that we are so attached to these pieces of metal, which we get into, and we don't feel claustrophobic for some reason, and we go to places which we could walk, and then we have the hassle of parking and paying for having this luxury and whatever, just so that the big shots and the rich tycoons get even richer.
Okay, your point is what?
My point is that they're trying to milk us of every penny we have, and it goes all the way down to premium quality fuels.
So you're saying there's no difference between 87 and 99 octane, 98?
I don't think it is.
Well, I don't know how. I would like the viewers to throw in an opinion and see what they say, but I think you're completely off the hook here.
I don't think it is.
No. You can't sell something that doesn't have. If it says this is the best thing in the land, it better well be the best. I mean, why does someone like Gordon Ramsay charge so much for his food compared to McDonald's? Are you telling me yes, it's just food? Yeah, you're right, it's just food, but there's a difference in quality, bro.
No, Gordon Ramsay charges as much as he can. Because he's a celebrity chef. Did you get me?
So the food is the same. What you're saying?
Yeah. If Gordon Ramsay, for through some kind of a miracle, switches bodies with me, he won't be able to sell a sandwich. because I'm not Gordon Ramsay.
Then
Do you get my point?
I
It's
do,
all
but
the image.
I'm
It's
just
all
thinking.
about the image.
I'm just thinking, Matt. Why would someone like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti? You're telling me they just say go to the pump and stick the normal crap in? No, they're gonna say put the Super Plus. What advantage have they got to say to people put the Super Plus in?
Because whoever you as a normal person and me as an even poorer person are never gonna buy a Ferrari, right? And when you are at that level of wealth, you're
Yeah.
not gonna put the poor people juice in your Ferrari, are you?
Poor people juice.
Exactly. Because you don't want to put your rich, wealthy, like 401k hand on the same pump where someone that, is probably struggling to feed their 12 kids
Okay,
put,
let me
you
attack
know.
this with another. Okay, so today, um, my I have a 2004, for the viewers here, E270 silver Mercedes Benz, right? It's got about 95, 96k on the clock. Now, I can tell you, because the car is turbocharged and it has been played around with a little bit, when I put in Super Plus diesel, it goes a lot faster than when I put in normal diesel. And here's the thing, it has better combustion and is better for the engine.
How do you know that?
Because Shell says it is. And they test it. Independent car makers and manufacturers, and even, let's say, independent magazine reviewers of cars, they test both on even a dyno and on the road. Mainly on dynos, say the output is much more different. Why would they lie to say the output is different on Super Plus than it is normal unleaded fuel?
Third party advertising, sponsorships. That would be just two off the top of my head. Like,
You
quick.
sound like a conspiracy nut now you're saying that, right? You know
I'm
that.
not. I'm not, but think about it. Look, look, imagine that you and me are running, like the school paper, right? And all of a sudden, let's say that our local fuel station comes over and says, you know what? You guys are running the school paper, right? Okay. Could you guys do an article saying how good our fuel station is, and we'll give you candy bars until, the end of Christmas.
Okay.
Would you do it? Of course you would.
Yeah, but that's called false advertising. These guys who are independent magazines, they haven't got, they would not jeopardize their. They get advertising funds from other people anyway. Why would they jeopardize their reputation just for some candy bars? And by the way, they're called sweets, not candy bars. But anyway,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. Would you say that not old Top Gear, but let's say for the younger crowd, like Clarkson, Hammond, and May,
Yeah.
would you think that they are a reputable source of information?
Yes, I would. Yeah.
Okay, good. Have you ever, in the 150 million episodes of Top Gear, have you ever seen them have a test between two German cars and a British car in which the British car was not better? Have you ever seen one?
Not if I can't recall anything. No.
Every single time, the Jag, the Land Rover, the Bentley, the Rolls Royce was better than anything else put alongside them.
Yeah.
Even though we both and everyone in this goddamn world knows it's not true.
Oh no. You know what? Okay, I'm not gonna go with the Jag, but the Rolls is probably the best luxurious car in the world.
Kind of.
Really?
Yeah, well, you're kind of forgetting that there's a thing called a Maybach in this world.
Yeah, the Maybach. I saw one the other day in London. It was nice, but it looked like an S-Class Mercedes-Benz. And the question I have for you: if money was no object, and you had a choice of the Maybach, or Maybach as you mispronounce it, and a Rolls-Royce, which one would you go for?
In a heartbeat, I'll get the Maybach.
Oh my God, you've lost the plot. When you wake up in the morning, does your brain go in the back of your mind because you don't know what's going on? Have you finally lost the plot? Seriously, you'd
it
buy a
readjusts itself.
Maybach over a Rolls Royce.
Yes, I would.
So what? Okay, if that's the case, how come the sheikhs, how come the rich people in this world do not buy Maybachs? They buy Rolls Royces. Why?
No, they buy both most of the time.
No, they
Who
don't.
look? Who can afford a 600,000 pound euro dollar car? Can afford the second one?
When you talk about the world's best car, luxury, you're talking about Rolls Royce. No one. Have you ever, in this day and age, ever heard besides yourself, anyone said, "Yeah, the Maybach is the car I'd buy"? In the rap videos, which car is it that they show off, bro? Is it a Maybach or is it a Rolls?
I'm sorry, but let me stop you right there and tell you that, in the words of the great philosopher of our time, Jay Z, no chrome on the wheels. I'm a grown up for real. And he drives a Maybach. And P. Diddy drives a Maybach. And a lot of the rappers out there, they drive a Maybach. And by the way, Rick Ross, I think, or DJ Khaled, one of the two of one of these two, they have recording label called Maybach Music.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe that's the family surname. I don't know. All I'm saying is that when I see a rap video, I see a Rolls. I see a convertible Rolls on there. If it's not a Rolls, it's a Bentley. It's not a Maybach. I'm sorry. It's a nice car. I looked at it and thought, that's nice, but I'd rather have a Rolls.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
like
don't
going,
know.
there's a BK or there's a McDonald's. Most people would go for the McDonald's. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but Burger King is better. You just, proved your own point.
I agree. In some things, Burger King is better. But when it comes to cars, there's no way the Mercedes Maybach is better than a Rolls Royce. You're losing the plot, bro. Honestly. I think whatever you're drinking too much of it. Put it down, put the vinegar down, and stop drinking it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this. On this, Maybach is way more luxurious than any kind of Rolls Royce. Legroom, headroom, gadgets. Okay, they kind of made a mistake, and they designed it to look too close, to have too much of a resemblance with the S class. Yeah, okay, that was a bit of a mistake. But at the same time, it's targeted at that kind of clientele, which probably can afford to buy, close to €1 million car, dollar pound, um, but they don't want to be conspicuous. You get my point?
Mm-hmm.
So
I can say, Robbie, listen, I want to agree with you. But if I did that, we'd both be wrong. So let's not do that anymore.
all right, okay,
Anyway,
okay, yeah.
so anyway, going back to I don't
Let's
know how
get
we
back
got
to
this
the
far.
Japanese. Jesus
cars,
Christ.
JDMs, right?
Okay, yeah.
Japanese
So-
domestic cars, Japanese domestic making cars, whatever they're called, market cars. We went from you. So you take the R34, I take the R35. Okay, so if money was no object, you would take your 929 whatever door wedge of a Mazda, which is just ridiculous. But so, what would the other cars be? Now we know you're wrong about the Mazda.
I'm sorry. I just did this because you said that you would take the R35 or over the R34, and I'm trying to kill myself slowly and painfully.
No, yeah, you may be doing that, but you'd be wrong about two things now. So let's not go there. Let's just leave it as one thing being wrong about, and leave the other thing.
Yeah, the R34 is just an ugly car. I'm sorry, it just is. It's trying to milk the R34's success as much as possible. It just, you could see it's trying so hard. Anyway, sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah. Anyway, wow. Anyway, so they're both called Godzilla for a reason, and the R35 is a superior car. Anyway, now that I've won that argument, the question was: besides your ugly 929 Mazda, which looks like a door wedge, store stopper, what other two cars would you have? Money no object, let's say.
No, no, I said I'd have the 929. I had
Yep.
the R34,
Yep.
and I would have either a GSF, a Lexus GSF, or an LS.
What's a GSF? Sounds like some
It's
kind of an STD. What is that?
it's basically the contender, the main contender to the mid-size saloon market. So it's basically the contender to the M5. It's the Lexus GS,
Okay.
but having the F at the end has it's got like a 5 liter V8 or something.
I thought you were going to say something. I mean, one of my favorite 4x4s. Maybe I'm showing my age now. Is the Shogun, Mitsubishi Shogun. That to me was quite a good looking car. Very
None of them.
robust.
No, 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 no. They weren't. They weren't. Um, I'm not a big Mitsubishi person. I'm a Mazda person. I don't know why. When it comes to Japanese cars, I'm a Mazda or a Lexus person.
I mean, what about your thoughts? I mean, mine would be R35, obviously, and the second one would be the Subaru Impreza P1, the one with the pink badge. Awesome looking car. Well, and it didn't have a dustbin lid for an exhaust pipe on the back, or muffler as you call it. What do you think of the Scooby Doo?
I like the Imprezas. I really do. As long as I never have to work on it. I'm sorry. Like if anyone watching out there has an Impreza, and if you've ever worked on your Impreza, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. There are very few cars in this world which I would choose BDSM over changing their spark plugs,
Okay.
and one of them is the Impreza.
Okay, so you have a 5 Series in the back, let's say, as we very know. What engine is in the 5?
It's a 2.5 liter straight six.
Okay, so what you're saying is that because you work on cars, if you have the choice of your car or an M5, you would not buy the M5.
That is correct. Ideally, just pigeonholing ourselves. Ideally, in this body style that I have,
Yeah.
I I would rather have the 535i
Mm.
automatic over the M5
You know the
because
M5 is faster, right?
yeah, I do. I know that, but I'd rather have an automatic transmission over a manual. I still get to have a V8, and I still get to have 300 horsepower.
Why anyone who's a car enthusiast or a car purist, my toy outside, as you very well know, is a manual. I would not get a Tiptronic for love nor money, or an auto in my fun car. What I mean, all right. So we're talking about your car here. So what you're saying is you'd rather get an auto than a manual in your toy,
Yeah, yeah.
and the reason is
I hate shifting gears. I've shifted so many million miles, and I think I've worn my left foot to the bone. Trust me. I used to be a taxi driver. I drove manuals. I've clocked over 2 million miles in this lifetime. I never want to see a manual in my life again. Ever.
even though the manual's slower, and you're gonna the auto's slower, and in a manual you got more chance of burning a clutch away than you have in an auto.
I wouldn't say that that an automatic is slower than a manual, because these days with the double clutches and all of these fancy electronics, the automatics are getting faster.
Yeah, and an automatic has more chance of going wrong. With a manual, you can bump start it. It will start. What do you do with an automatic? If the battery goes flat, then what?
You use jumper cables, because there is at least the cars that I like, the cars that I would buy for myself without, trying to be masochistic about, I wouldn't be able to push them anyway.
Okay, okay. Anyway, here's a question for you, right? Let's move away from Japanese car for a second. Muscle car. If you
Yeah.
had to pick one, and I know you have one,
Yeah.
what would it be?
I'd get a. Well, okay, hang on a sec. Classic muscle car or modern muscle car?
One car, choice of dream car, what would it be? New muscle car, old muscle car, doesn't matter. You've got one car to pick from. American muscle car, what would it be?
You know that's a difficult question to answer. I would probably get the new Challenger Hellcat.
Is that a standard or is that an auto?
Yeah, that's an automatic.
Okay, all right. I want you to answer this question. So, okay, go back to the 1960s era. What muscle car would you be? What would you get? Money
I'd
no
get
object.
it. I'd get a Charger.
Which was a manual.
Um. Well,
I think.
some of them were, but most of them weren't. Because they had the big block and the small block, and I think the big block was an automatic, and the 357, yeah, the 350, no, I don't even know. One of them, like the bigger engine was an automatic, and the smaller engine was a manual.
Okay.
Because you could put like a blower on top of the smaller engine, and therefore it's a manual.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we determined that you would buy, even in a toy car, even in the car of your dreams that you could buy, it would be an auto.
Yes, it will.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And if you had a 911 Porsche, it would be a Tiptronic, or it would
Yep.
be a manual. Again,
Yeah.
even though they say the Tiptronics are, as you would say, garbage.
No, they're not garbage. They're actually good gearboxes. You just have to know how to use them. Years and years ago, I drove a first gen Porsche Boxster S, and
Yep.
it was a Tiptronic, and I had no issues with it. I drove it decently fast, and yeah, I liked it.
Okay, so now we've answered that one. What about the three worst Japanese cars, you think?
I would say the Toyota. You name it. Nah, I'm joking.
No, that's mine. Don't even go there.
No. I'm not gonna say it. I just wanted to kind of like.
You know,
Say-
thousands of Indian people can't be wrong. I am an Uber driver and I know what I drive. Okay, don't go there.
You see, if I would have done that, that would have been mean, right?
Yeah, well, this is not you, right? I'm allowed to do that.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I'd say the Corolla, the Toyota Corolla.
Reason?
It's
The
just-
magnificent styling of it.
it's a car that was designed, engineered, and built on a Friday afternoon when they said, fuck it, that'll do.
You know, you said it's a car. You said that reluctantly. You know that, right?
Yeah. It's almost like the Albanian way of describing a car, you know. My friend, it's a car. It's got 4 wheels, 4 seats, 4 doors, and windows. Take it. You know, it's just okay, they are reliable, but no one should be made to pay for that kind of an object.
You know, women love that car.
Do they?
Well, the older generation women does. Because it's reliable. She does not want, a car that doesn't start in the morning. I mean, it was a family reliable car. You have to admit that. Why did they sell so many of them?
I'm hoping that they had some great marketing strategy, or they were giving them out for free at corner shops. I don't know, like yeah, if you buy 2 bottles of shampoo, you get a free Corolla.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. So what's the other two?
Uh, well, The other two are. Well, you tell me one of yours.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's got to be
You
my
tell me one
Prius.
of yours.
I love Prius.
Oh, come on. Well,
It's. I mean, listen. The reason I say Prius, bro, is because it's a fantastic car. It's everyone's minicab, special car. But the thing about the Prius is everyone hates it. Everyone that isn't I mean, when you see a Prius, what do you want to do to it? I mean, you just think if I had a big car, I'd run over it. I mean, just it's hated. You see somebody doing an illegal U-turn somewhere, going around the roundabout the wrong way. It's usually my friend, Mr. Patel, going around the roundabout the wrong way.
yeah, okay. But as a car, they're not terrible. Okay, the at least the driver's seat, because I drove one for like 4 or 5 months. I had one as a rental, right? Sitting in the driver's seat of a Prius feels like being on a park bench.
Okay.
It's terrible. It's like 50 Shades of Gray. Stuff is coming into your bum and into your back, and someone's stabbing you in the back of the head. It's terrible.
Sorry.
The sound system is crap.
Sorry, you said things are going into your bum.
Yeah, yeah. And the strange thing is, that was an almost new Prius that I had. It had like 2,000 miles on the clock. And still the seats felt like, they were made of, like barbed wire or something.
What year? What year was the Prius?
2015, and I had it in 2015.
So not long ago. I mean, it's only like 5 years ago now.
Yeah. It was black. It had the upgraded sound system, which was terrible. What else did it have? It had the LED headlights. And yeah.
And it also did 65 miles to the gallon, right?
It never did.
I think it's just you, Rob. Everyone else, even I had a little Honda Civic, my little hybrid I had, the blue one.
Yeah.
Even that piece of junk, I managed to get 55, nearly 60, plenty of times out of it. It's just you. You have a right foot which is made of lead.
No. Well, kind of. But the Prius was not designed for me, because what I was doing back then when I had it was I was doing a lot of, like a lot of highway and motorway miles. Right?
Okay.
So basically I was driving a 1.8 piece of junk, and it didn't even matter that it was a hybrid,
Right.
because the hybrid engine never kicked in.
Yeah, it's because you never let it kick in.
It never kicked in, and I always put it in power mode. And I used to make fun of, like when I had people in the car, and I go like, yeah, strap yourselves in, we're going into Superman mode. And I press the button and like smack the accelerator, and nothing happened.
That reminds me of? It reminds me of The Empire Strikes Back, and he goes, okay, hit it, and he goes, it's a complete anticlimax, right? That didn't work.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I with Toyota and Japanese cars, they're. Should we? I mean, can we call it? It's a love-hate thing. Either you love them or you don't.
No, I don't think so. Um, I don't think that any kind of car enthusiast, if with their own money, would go and buy themselves Toyota Auris
Okay.
or a Mazda CX-3. Because if you think about it, those are cars which revolve around the 20 grand mark.
Okay.
20 grand can get you, as a car enthusiast, a lot of car. 20 grand can get you a 996 4S Porsche.
Yeah, with high mileage on it. Yeah, but yeah.
No. You can get a turbo for less than 15 grand. A 996. Maybe a 997 with high mileage. You can get a 997 turbo with high mileage, less than 20 grand.
I don't think you can. I don't know where you've been.
Yeah,
looking.
No. Seriously, like you could check out autotrader.com or .co.uk. Doesn't matter. You'll see you can find 996s. They're at the bottom of the depreciation curve. Anyway, that's just one. You can get so many other great cars. Okay, used for
Yeah,
the
but you
price of
gotta.
a.
Anybody's gonna buy an Auris or a Prius is gonna use it for one reason or two. Either a family car, really economic, really cheap to run. You agree with that, right? And you can work on it yourself. True. Let's say the Corolla. Let's say not the Corolla, but the Auris and some of these cars you can work on by yourself.
No, you can. I don't think you can, because if it's under warranty, if you do an oil change, by yourself, that's it. You're completely stuffed.
But I mean, why would you buy one? It's reliable, bro. The problem with a BMW, an Audi, a Porsche, one of these cars, I'm not saying they're not reliable, but the question is, you buy one because you want fun in it. All right, I'm not saying the Auris isn't fun, but it's not going to be as much fun as one of these prestige model cars. But that's not why you're buying it. You're buying it for reliability. You're buying it because it's cheap to run, and it's because it's economic.
Okay, I can tell you some things, but I'd rather say it in a different video because I worked out that if you buy yourself a 10 to 15-year-old great car, because it's at the bottom of the depreciation curve, and if you are able to work on the car yourself,
Mm.
it actually ends up being cheaper than buying a brand new car, servicing at a dealer, and taking that initial depreciation hit.
Mm. Okay. Well,
Because that's a thing that people have to take into account. You buy a piece of junk Kia for 20 grand, and then lo and behold, by the time you 5 years or 4 years have passed and you paid it off, it's worthless. You sell it and you get yourself the latest iPhone, and that's it.
okay.
Whereas if you're lucky and you pick the right used car, like let's say the E30 3 Series. 10 years ago, the 3 Series, the E30, was a piece of junk. Am I right?
Mm.
Am I right? Yeah? The Lancia Delta was a piece of junk 10 years ago.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go on. Let's see,
Yeah?
see where this goes first. Yep.
If you would have bought that piece of junk for like, I don't know, 800 pounds, 2,000 even, right? Now, 10 years later, if you manage to maintain them yourself, they're not that difficult to work on. They're easy to fix. Anyway, no electronics, no computers, no radar systems, no nothing. Now, a Lancia Delta is in excess of 25,000 euros or
Yeah.
pounds.
Yep. Agree.
An E30 M3, if you get an M3, is over 50,000. No Japanese car ever, with the exception of the Supra, has appreciated in value.
Mm. That's a good point. You make a good point there. So what we're determining and what we're saying is that if you're going to buy a car, you buy a used car of prestigious value than a Japanese car of high value which is new.
Exactly. That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Well, I'd like to say that you're completely wrong, but why not go with you? I mean, let's face the facts. You haven't been right yet to this day since I've known you. So why would it happen now, right? Why change that?
Yeah. I just gave you so many facts in one conversation. I have educated you. I have enlightened you. What more do you want me to do?
In the famous words of my fellow Brexiters, even though I'm not a Brexiter, we're not about facts anymore, mate. We're about feelings these days.
Feeling what?
My feeling. Feeling what?
What would you want to feel?
I really can't answer that in the video, but that may be saved for an after time video for someone else on a different channel.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just agree to disagree, or why don't we just agree that you're wrong and I'm right? Um, and I think next time we have this conversation, it should be on some facts instead of what you think are facts and they really aren't facts. But
But they are. They are facts. Everything I have told you so far has been factual.
uh-huh.
There are there are two people in this lifetime which you can take whatever they say as gospel.
Uh-huh.
Me and Stephen Fry. And I know that if he, well, like I'm kind of blowing myself up, but if he would listen to me saying his name and the word gospel in the same sentence, he'd probably have a stroke.
Uh,
But anyway,
and
that's a
anyway,
different
and
story.
on that bombshell, I'd like to call it an evening. Anyway, Rob, it was interesting. It was fun.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
it was educational, and I just want to say to everybody that if you enjoyed the show, um, well, tune into our next one. I think it's good night from me. It's good night from him. And anything to add, Rob, to that?
Yeah. So if you guys liked what you just witnessed, because it was definitely an experience. Uh, yeah.
Enlightening.
Exactly. So if you like what you just witnessed, just like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in a couple of days. All
You
right.
sounds good. Take care, guys.